All right, we're
All right,
recording.
everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Sub Podcast, episode 111.
Yeah.
111. I'm your host, Luke Trevisi. With me, as always, the great Lawrence Deloach.
Yo.
And definitely not a fuck up, Chris Cheney.
What's up, guys?
Definitely not a fuck up, Chris Cheney. That's my guy. No, of course we got our we also have a special guest with us today, a good friend of mine. What am I like? We go back, man. This is I just can only introduce him as Eric Juice Foster. Everybody, he's Juice. Everybody.
Good job.
What's going on, Juice? Thanks for being here, man.
What's going on?
All right. Should we let him know what's going on?
Yeah, we can let him know. It's fine. Hey,
All right.
hey.
We fucked up.
I fucked up. We were recording for like 20 minutes, and I realized the Zoom wasn't recording.
We're a team right now.
As a unit, we fucked up.
We came together as a team. We put out some fire content for you guys that just you'll never see. But that's okay.
That's in our memories.
Okay.
It's all in our memories. Now we're just homies.
Word.
Now we're all just hanging out.
We were in Juice's bathroom for a second. Chick got wild.
Yeah.
Ooh, y'all missed the soap. Y'all fucked up.
We fucked up. He showed us the soap. He's not going to show us the soap again.
I'm using Dr. Bronner's. Fuck that. I'm not even talking about special soap.
Let's talk about, first of all, thanks, guys, for covering for me last week. You know?
Of course, buddy.
Love these guys.
Problem.
Just got to make sure to cover our bases. Make sure that fans know. I thanked them earlier, but I just want to let you guys know that I thank them now.
No problem.
All
You
right.
gotta see it for yourselves.
You just got
Should we
to,
go-
you know.
Should we try to go back over the doc real quick? We started off with the doc.
Yeah, let's talk about the doc.
We can go back over it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we really started with the Fire Fives,
Right.
and that led us in.
We overslept. Me and Juice overslept on him.
Yeah. Wasn't really for me, but we talked about the importance of the Nike Air. Juice, maybe can you – I'm sorry, dude. You want to just go back to that Nike comment that you had about the shoes?
Which ones?
To talk about having them on the back? Yeah.
Oh, like if the Nike Air is not on it changes the entire the weight of the shoe as far as like the first 6 they've come out with the Jumpman on it before, and like that was cool because it was still a colorway that Mike wore. Like if Mike wore it, people trip. That's my whole thing. I don't buy off colors. Like if Mike didn't wear it, I'm like I won the Travis Scotts, the high top ones. So that's my first pair of ones. Like I won those on Sneakers app. So like that's a one-off. But everything else, like I try to keep it true to what Mike wore. So like when Nike Air gets put on it, the value just. So then leeches, resellers want to try and get on it and take away as many as they can from the public and shit, and resell it for $360 and shit like dickheads. But I just think the value of Jordans go up depending on colorway and branding, and you put that Nike Air on it, it's a wrap. That shit's flying.
Well, we look at certain models of a Jordan 1, a Jordan 3, a 4. And you have, say, for example, you have the black and cement 4s that, they came out in 2012, and they had the Jordan, the Jumpman on the back. And then, last year we get the Nike Air version, and how people, they want to dump the Jordan logo pairs. Ones were a big thing. If you had the Nike Air on the tongue, everyone was like, oh, shit, these are the limited, you got to get them, and you had ones with the Jumpman logo, and people, they trashed them. There was Chicago's with the Jumpman logo, and everyone was like, those are trash. And then a couple years later, they fucking come out with, Jordan, a Nike Air on the Chicago ones in 2015, and boom, everyone's going crazy for them. So
when did mids get popular?
Say that again?
When did mids get popular?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. Well, we also got the mids coming out. We had a pair of mids coming out this week, right? Oh, no, they came out. When did they come out? The Luka Doncic ones?
Oh, the Luka, yeah, I know.
Why didn't Luka get highs? The nigga's nice.
That's the other thing I'm trying to figure out, too, man. I don't know why he didn't get highs.
My whole thing is this. All right, I'm 29. I was born in 1990. When I was in high school, and most of us niggas who was in high school, especially growing up in New York, mids was never lit. Only people wearing mids was the Mexican kids, and the one-off niggas in the school. Mids were never lit. The only mid that was ever lit, or I think that was a low, was the 14s, that the blue ones, the blue, black, and yellows.
Yeah.
But outside of that, niggas wasn't rocking lows. I will say this: I did have a pair of low twos, the white and blue ones, but like, I feel like another one off. But I just feel like in ones, now all of a sudden everybody needs a pair of mids. They got mad mids coming out. Nike put so much backing to people making their own like certain creatives or whatever the fuck and influencers making their own ones, and it's like they're all mids. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What y'all want? Why I want this? I don't like
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
the culture's changing OD, bro, and it's blowing mine.
Well, I was gonna that is something we could discuss, how, you know, certain models or certain, you know, they have like a resurgence, or and I'm not gonna say mids are having a resurgence, but they're definitely coming more to the forefront, where people are, you know, they're not scoffing at them like, oh man, I'm not fucking with mids, I'm gonna wear a pair of Jordan 1 mids. We're seeing a resurgence with dunks, like, you know, we saw that now, where I feel like Nike is going to whore out mids, I mean dunks, like they did Jordan 1s.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Travis Scott for that.
Mm-hmm.
Travis is obviously, you know, we talked about the Travis effect on this podcast, but yes, he is one of those guys that he's wearing a lot of SBs, and it is bringing, you know, making people aware of older SBs that maybe didn't get the credit they deserve. But it's just rappers in general, and it feels like the youth are like driving up, you know, they're trying to get any pair of SBs that are coming out.
I feel like
How long do you guys think this dunk fad, or not fad, but how long do you think this dunk being like on top can last?
Well, before we go on to the dunks thing, I did want to make a point about mids. I think that's also Nike fabricating. Like they're trying to push mids more than anything else right now. And Juice, you can attest to this because you've seen it in your store. Every time you go to a Nike store, you can find mids. You know, so like if they're available to the public, there's like everybody's like, I'm not gonna be able to get shattered backboards, but the shitty orange, the orange mids, I could get those. You know, so it's like a first option for like people who are just don't have it. You know. And then eventually that's like, all right, well, people are buying this. The common man is buying this. So now it just extrapolates, and now we're getting fucking custom mids.
bring back metallic ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Nike is always, they've played on that very well in terms of, oh, you can't get the super limited ones. We're gonna throw out some, you know, some less than, you know, hyped sneakers, and you're gonna purchase them. I mean, perfect example. I mean, you know, the Dior ones, you know, as soon as the Dior ones came out, you know, everyone was like, I can't afford 2,000, I'm not buying it. But then they released a pair of, you know, Zoom Air ones.
Yeah, bro, I got them. Give me 1 second.
That's what I'm saying.
Go grab them. Yeah. I mean, and to go back to what you were saying, Lawrence, about the dunks, it's like, the cycles of shoes getting popular is getting tighter. And I think it really just depends on what people like Travis want to do next. Like, I think when they run out of cool options with these shoes that are popular now and they go on to the next one, but it really depends because the cycles just keep changing.
Luke,
I feel like these came out of nowhere, right?
What happened?
how comfy are they?
They're all right. They're not great. You know, I haven't really walked around in them yet. I've just had them sitting in a box because I've been wearing my house shoes around. Because I got these and the Yeezys at the same time. So I was just like, well, what am I gonna wear in the house? Jordan 1s or house shoes? You know?
Right.
So I'm just wearing the Yeezys a lot.
And what was your last point that you was trying to make?
Yeah.
What was that last
Oh
point?
no, it's just like the cycles of shoes that get popularized. It's less about like it's less about the actual trends as far as what the world is following, because like dad shoes, and like that whole normcore, like these are periods of times that like these Nike shoes got popular in and out of.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard to see, like Lawrence, going back to, you know, your answer to the original question. I know this was kind of long-winded, but like it's just so hard to see because it's based more on like celebrity influence than it is like fashion influence to me.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and, I mean, yeah, granted, you know, there are certain rappers and that made certain shoes popular, but I'm not going to sit here and say that whatever Travis decides to wear next is is what, because people are gonna like what they like.
Yeah.
Granted, maybe some of the younger generation is more influenced and causing, certain, like if they see like their favorite rapper, then they're going to attempt to get the sneakers by any means, in turn, whether it's bots or whatever, which then causes the people who older people who may actually like them to be shut out. It's a domino effect to me, but it does bring up a really good point that it's like, all right, we've seen the Jordan 1 wave, we've seen Air Max wave. We've seen phone posits, like, we saw where, they were selling out and being resold for 4 or 5 times what you pay for them. We're at a dunk phase now. And I think, Chris, you talked about it earlier. I think, like, what's next? Air Force Ones, or, what can you guys see being the next
Air Force
trend?
Ones have been the trend now. So Air Force Ones have hit this really gross trend, especially like with like overseas white people, where it's like they like to wear their Uptowns every day, all day, every day, all day, and like in a month they look like they've been, through medieval times. It's been countless situations. I've seen little girls and like come in there and they just want a new pair. And you see their old pair on their feet, and you're like, what the fuck happened? And it's like, how long did you even have those? They'd be like fucking like a couple months, and he's like, damn, that a couple months?
Well, you know what? They treat them like Converse, dude. They treat them like Chuck 70s.
That shit's gross. That shit is so gross. But Uptowns have made a pretty big resurgence, like, with their recent colorways and stuff that they've been doing, especially a lot of the colorways they dropped prior to the whole pandemic. I think it's gonna just keep going up. Trap doing Uptowns was like a whole thing, and I feel like at some point more designers are gonna just follow suit, and it's gonna be like more like special Uptowns coming out. Like we had the Clots that came out. It was those other ones that were like black with the really big white laces.
Oh, the Korean ones.
The Korean Jones, yeah, and all the Korean kids, they wear them shits in reverse, like they tie it from the bottom up. It's like, I don't know. It's
we saw Cactus Plant do Air Force One. We've seen John Elliott do Air Force Ones. There are a lot of collabs that people have done with obviously with Air Force Ones. And you have to remember, 20 years ago, everyone wore an Air Force One. Nelly, those guys singing about Air Force Ones is like, they were fucking huge at one point. So
yeah,
we don't know what's next, but
I kind of hypothesized at one point that I thought trail running was going to be a big thing. And I was giving a lot of credit to Sacai. We talked about this on a previous episode, but like those waffles were actually a trail runner when they came out. And I know a lot of people don't know that, but I think the industry did, and they saw the popular effect that those had. Lawrence, you bigged those up big time when they came out. You know what I mean? Those were one of your favorite shoes when they dropped.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these shoes that I'm seeing are like even the Solomons and stuff, like those are selling. These are part of those like booms that I think that are happening during this pandemic, where people are buying that stuff and then going hiking. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Then like Off-White did the Terra Tigers and shit. So
that was another. Yeah, it's kind of around the same time as the Sacai's too. It's just interesting to see now they're going from these big bulky dad shoes to like these thinner, like spikier runners.
I feel like Sacai waffles were such a clout shoe though. Like cats who caught them, they were like, "Yeah, look at my feet, dog." Like, yeah, we see, we know.
Yeah.
Well, it's because those shoes checked all the hype boxes. You know what I mean? Like when all the boxes are checked, it doesn't matter how good the shoe is or how respectable the shoe is supposed to be. It's just going to go down a little bit,
Yeah. If you look at like the white pair and the black pair, they're only like $200-$300 now, because they're not like the super flashy ones.
You're talking about the ones that released a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Well, the
nylon ish ones, the ones that weren't the mesh.
Yeah.
Well, I think those were poorly executed, and I also feel like they weren't as nice as the original 5 that were released. So I think obviously they weren't.
Y'all lost. What shoe are we talking about?
The
Sacai waffle.
Okay, my fault. I didn't know we were still talking about mine.
Hold on.
Word.
I gotta
Yeah, the
write
mesh
it down.
with the ones that just came out. Yeah, those weren't those didn't sell too hot. They're very low on resale sites.
Yeah. These are the attainable versions.
Yeah, they're not bad.
It-
Not bad for attainable versions.
Lawrence, you didn't like them?
I did. I like the white version more than the black version.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I didn't copy either, but I peeped. I thought they were cool. I thought it was a. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no real opinion on that shoe.
Yeah, it's just kind of off your radar.
Well, and that's kind of how they ended up where they are, because people saw them and like they're not as good as the other ones. They're kind of like the walk-in version, I guess you could call it, where you can just walk in on the shelf and buy it. So yeah, no one really had an opinion on it because they already made a better one.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with those
Sakai?
Sakai the runners? They have 3 colors. One's a maroon, one's a white.
Oh, you're talking about the crazy over-branded swoosh ones?
Yeah.
They were slated for a release later this year, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're probably supposed to release, but I mean, with the pandemic, I mean, it seems like a lot of things are either getting pushed back or, it's not receiving the hype that it's supposed to receive right now. I don't know. I like one of the colors. I think the maroon color was pretty chill. I didn't like the black and white version, but we got it. We'll see.
Yeah, those guys.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
kind of
super
interesting,
colors.
but I don't know. I hope it's really held together right, because like when Nike did the Zoom Turbo 2, it's a running shoe and it's like 2 different soles. Like that shit starts to split after a while. So like stacked soles like that, like on that Sakai Zoom, it's kind of like that on the Vaporfly. It makes me feel kind of sketchy, but I mean, like, it looks interesting. If somehow somebody was like, "Yo, Juice here," I'm like, "All right," but I don't think I'd ever pay for him.
Just tossed him out of like a truck.
Yeah, like, "Yo, Juice, 12."
There you go.
Yo, good looks.
Now, we do this podcast on Sundays, which is for the last couple of weeks has been the Chicago Bulls Last Dance doc. And obviously we're recording, we're about an hour and 15 minutes away from episodes 5 and 6. We talked about episodes 1 and 2 last week, Chris, myself, and Isaiah. 3 and 4, what do you guys think? Because they were both excellent episodes so far.
I said it before. I'll say it again. I don't trust Isaiah Thomas. He gives me weird eyes. I don't like him.
He got weird eyes.
He got weird eyes. I don't like him. He won't shake Michael Jordan's hand. Shake the man's hand. All right?
He just talks too smooth when it's too much pressure. Like
Exactly.
He's just like this, man. Yeah. I'm just like, no, you fucking
weirdo.
Yeah, word.
Well, I think it's interesting about Isaiah is I feel like he did what he did. And he's like not backtracking, but he's still coming up with excuses, and it's almost 30 years later.
Yeah.
Whereas when you talk to like,
that's just what you did back then.
yeah, it's he used the Celtics from '86. I mean, not '86, but '88 when they lost to the Pistons, and and he like we have a guy like Bill Laimbeer, his teammate, who's just like, fuck it, we ain't like them, they ain't like us, fuck it, we're never like them, they ain't never gonna like us, like that's it.
Yeah.
So you look at Isaiah, he was the guy who was the ringleader of the team. He was the best player on the team.
Yeah.
He was the guy who lost out on playing on the dream team.
Joe Dumars was a beast, and I feel like Joe Dumars did not get the recognition I feel like he deserved, because Joe Dumars is busting ass.
Joe D was amazing. The only thing about him to me was he wasn't like, how they like, he was part of the Bad Boys, but he wasn't a bad boy. Like he was winning community awards, for the Pistons. Like he was like the guy who was like the nice guy of the Pistons. Granted, they were all they're one team, but Joe D won a Finals MVP. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about the Pistons, it usually goes Isaiah, Laimbeer, Rodman, and then you talk about how good Joe D was. But he was fucking solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I just want to admit again that because I was so outside of basketball and so young, I didn't know that Rodman played for the Pistons. I didn't know he had 2 extra rings because of that shit. I didn't know any of those crazy Piston stories. Like, I mean, me and Lawrence were lucky enough to go on television and talk about how the fucking basketball back in the day was so vicious, but I didn't realize it was that vicious to that level at that time. That shit blew my mind. All that shit's crazy to me. So I'm really looking forward to 5 and 6. I mean, the Phil Jackson stuff from these episodes were really cool to watch. I didn't know some of that stuff. Like, wait, can you guys clarify one thing for me?
What's up?
Sure.
So, who was the coach before Phil? I forget his name. Dan?
No.
Doug Collins.
Doug Collins.
Doug. Okay, yeah. So what happened there? Because they kind of alluded that Doug wasn't happy, and
some
he kind of like
down.
Yeah. Do you guys know anything about that? Because that was confusing to me.
I think they must have him out of the position.
So basically, what happened was, I guess they Doug, he came off. He was back in the day very insecure about, he would work the players a little harder, and basically they wanted him to install the triangle offense. That's the offense that they ran.
Yeah. I got that from the doc. Yeah.
So Tex Winter is like this basketball genius who fucking helped Phil with LA and Chicago, and Tex was like, he knew his shit, and Doug kind of like tried to push Tex aside because he didn't want to run the offense through like the triangle offense. His offense was give the ball to Mike and get the fuck out of the way and let Mike.
Literally, that's what he said in a conference.
Mike was averaging like 38 a game, and it's rare in the NBA for a coach to get his team to the to the conference finals and then get fired. Like that's very rare, and there was a lot of internal shit that was going on between. Right? Say that again.
That was against Cleveland, right?
They beat Cleveland, then they beat the Knicks, and they lost to the Pistons in the conference finals that year. They lost 4-2. So when you see a team like that in like '89, you're like, oh man, all right, they got over Cleveland, they beat the Knicks, they fucking they took the Pistons, who were the team, to 6 games. You're like, all right, they come back strong next year, and it's like, nah, the coach just lost his job because the way Jerry Krause, like the GM, looked at the franchise, he was like, nah, like we want to install this. We knew we couldn't get to the next level with the coach we had. It's very rare. You don't see that very often in the NBA. Like a coach is going to get a shot to at least get over the hump. And Doug, but it's so interesting with Doug Collins, and that Doug had Mike. You see the way he talks about Mike, like he's like, oh, when I coach Mike, I love Mike. He's so great. Like
he's very giddy, bro. Like an ex that got away.
When Jordan came back to the Wizards, and 2001 to 2003, he got Doug Collins to coach the Wizards. So Doug coached him his final 2 years in Washington, because I think Jordan, there's a thing, man. It's like, goddamn, like I fucks with you, but it took you to get fired for us to get to that next level, or maybe we would have won with you, but who knows? Yeah. And I think it was very interesting with Doug. Doug was, he's a high. Every team he coached, he kind of flamed out. Like he got other coaching jobs after.
Flamed out.
Sixers. Well, he was older, and this was like 2011, 2010, or some shit like that. Yeah. He's coaching these young kids, but he flames out. He's like, I'm burnt out. I'm stressed out. Yeah. Washington, he got fired. Like it's a thing with Doug Collins.
Yeah, man. Something's going on.
Just seeing all the old Rodman shit, though, that was interesting. I was a little lost there because when they were asking Doug about it, he was kind of like, oh, it's just blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, you sure? And he's like, yeah, what? So that was just weird.
You don't want to talk about it?
No, it's just bad,
Bunch of that.
Enough of that.
So we're watching a documentary, and everyone's seeing all these fucking Jordans that are just, that are nostalgia, like, pieces that, people missed out on. And now, because of this documentary, and we talked about this before, sneakers are like, these Jordans are increasing, man. If you want a pair now, it's like you better get them, and you're gonna pay a lot of fucking money. Yeah. What are you guys like? What are you feeling about that shit? Like, are you feeling like, damn, like, well, this is your fault, or, how do we solve this
I
problem?
mean, with the state of the economy now and what sneakers, like the sneaker economy and what that shit's looking like, I feel like paying resale for some of your favorites is just you just gotta bite that bullet sometimes. There's certain pairs I want that I missed out on for whatever reasons in my life, and I'm willing to pay up on certain shoes just because they mean something to me. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like, all right, not to get too deep, but to be a little shallow, you know, a lot of this shit we do in life don't really matter. The world's gonna, we're just riding on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you can put yourself in a position where you can live your best and not put yourself in a fucking hole, do what you can. I feel like the sneaker culture is kind of fucked thanks to like just social media and just how the internet is just evolving in the Skynet. To be honest, I don't know. I don't think there's much we can do, but just like kind of like see where things go and see if things fizzle out, and maybe like, you know, the true core of certain subcultures can take over again, and maybe like, you know, like the phoenix rise from the ash.
Well,
Yeah, I believe-
no, you can go, Luke.
No, I believe I agree with him. I think I think this is I've said it before that this is like a very delicate time in the economy of streetwear, but I think there's going to be like a lot, like even like the major releases that we've seen so far, the triple black. I mean, I think the triple blacks are the only like major releases
Fog.
we've seen, you know.
Fog.
Yeah, the fogs. As far as like that went, that's like a reflection of like the market right now. They're only at like $500-600, like they're only like $100-200 over retail.
No.
I think everything will kind of retain. I don't think it's gonna get too steep for a while. I don't think, you know.
I kind of disagree with you in a sense, Luke, because
Okay.
I feel like especially like when you're saying with Fear of God, like they're only $100 more. I think every pretty much Fear of God except for the originals were pretty stagnant in terms of like Oatmeals were going for damn near retail when they
Right.
came out. You know, like
Are
triple
they still
blacks. Like
running for $4?
say again.
Them shits was running for like $4 something.
Yeah, the
So I'm
oatmeals
saying
are like
it-
$4 something.
Oh, OD.
That's what I'm saying. So you look at like, especially something like a Fear of God, like when you talk about a sneaker that already retails at $350,
That's true.
and you're saying, and you're putting it in a reseller who may not have a lot of money to, you know, to hold sneakers for months or maybe a year, like something like that is gonna, like, you know, someone's gonna say, all right, well, I'll give you 600, and then, you know, after fees they done made what, $150, or you
Right.
know, something like that is like, I just like, I think those, but when you look at like as a dunk
Mm-hmm.
like that, there's a bigger profit margin to be made. Shit skyrockets, bro. We've talked about like,
Right.
and like how you got like fucking Strange Loves or Kentucky's or
Yeah,
Syracuse
we've been
that
watching those.
are just booming.
Yeah.
Niggas
I
don't
think-
even know what Strange Love is.
Yeah. Don't even know the shop.
They don't even know the fucking team or anything about what Strange Love is. I just hate what a lot of our cultures have like blown up into. Sorry to cut you off, Lawrence. My bad.
No, you good. You good, Juice.
I'm just
Well,
like,
you know what, man? It's like, it's kind of, because I'm with you, but it also goes back to what you were saying before. Like, you got to do what you got to do, because we have these moments with these sneakers, not us specifically, but like the older generation of sneakerheads like us, where we like had moments with these. We put that feeling into these kids that don't know what it is, because we give
Mhm.
them the hype and they just follow.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like our fault when it happens. Like, they don't know shit, but they see us get excited, and then like when we get excited, that's when everybody gets excited.
It's true.
social media really like boosted their fucking education as far as shoes and how to cop, and then everything got a lot easier. Like, there's no waiting online is almost not a thing anymore. Like at this
No.
point, I feel like
No.
that shit's pretty much dying, and it's like you just take an L and that's it. Like,
Yeah. What's a release day look like at Nike?
all right, it's mostly it's all resellers. Like
Right.
like heavy release day, it's just resellers looping. It's just a bunch of loops, and then whatever customers can get theirs amidst the line.
Right.
Right, but that shit's hard. And I
Yeah.
watch that shit. I've been on too many launches where I just be watching like, damn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because for us, it's just like, it's bread in our pockets. It's not like we don't, as much as like, it's so many people of sneaker culture that work together in Nike. It's a lot of people that's like, we got to do what the big, what the higher ups say. So
Yeah.
we move them shits out, and it's like, I guess managers' discretion as well. So it's like, shit, you fine, bro. But it's like,
You know what? It also goes back to what you were saying. I don't know if you said this when the botched recording happened or whatever, but you were saying you only wear Jordans that he wore, right?
only where,
Yeah.
even outside of like Michael Jordan, like I only wear Jordans that he wore that I like, and then on top of that, like even like regular sneakers, Air Max 90s, I only like the infrareds. Like a lot, I only like the first color that dropped is my favorite color. Just
Right, OG colors are always the staple.
it has it has a color palette that cannot be mimicked. You can do colorways that are kind of like it. Then you'll do like let's say like your favorite is the bread ones, and then they do like bread toes and all these other different shoes, and it's like, you know, something close to it, but it's not that.
Yeah.
It's like all the other colors that drop and all of this stuff. It's like whatever. Like, you gotta really grab me. But I only really wear the like if Mike wore it, I'm pretty much fucked with it. Like my favorite pair of sixes is the maroon sixes. When those shits re-retroed, I was like, ah. And luckily I had a Nike plug at the time when those shits dropped, and I paid like $143, nigga. I came up.
Nice.
Because those shits was
Very
like $2 something, so I got the dizzy.
See, but like the kids now buying, they don't have those moments. So it really is us instilling it into that, because like the ones that Mike wore are always the most expensive, because not only are we getting it, the kids with the bots are getting it too.
Yo, but a lot of these kids that are resellers, a lot of them just get startup money from their parents.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids, it's not like some like Hollywood story like, oh, you know, man, I fucking had to sell crack or whatever. Like, they got to do crazy shit to fucking get his bank up to then start flipping these kicks. Like, oh, I took the money from my fucking baby moms because she's like, she'll hold me. Nah, it's these 14-year-old kids that get their parents who don't really give a shit. They're like,
who have disposable income, who can hold on to
Exactly.
shit for a long time.
I had a kid sit when I used to work for Jason Mark. I had a kid sit in my chair, and he's like, yeah, he had like 17 pairs of whatever Yeezy that dropped at the time.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the flip. I'm like, this nigga's like 17. I was like,
Yeah.
No cap, he was between 15 and 17.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, like, I was like, it made me think about me at 15, 17. I was like, fuck, I sucked.
No, it was just a different culture back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Whole different culture.
But like these kids are like their parents hold them down. It's like, that shit's crazy.
Yeah.
That shit
I know.
crazy.
I was gonna say
go
ahead.
All right. When Juice was working, when Juice was working for Jason Marks, he would always like ask these kids in like their off-white like Prestos or whatever, and be like, "Oh, is that your first pair of Prestos?" That used to make me laugh all the time.
That's a good man. I like that.
He used to walk up to these kids and be like, "Is that your first pair?"
What's your first
like,
pair of Prestos? They'd be like, yeah. Like,
yeah, man. And he's just like, son of a bitch. These kids don't fucking know.
Yo, every off-white shoe is like, our sneaker culture is not about having these gems, these trophies, and loving it, wearing it, and getting it right. A lot of these niggas are flexing. A lot of it is like, yo, let me throw these on. Kind of, everyone's gonna look at me, and everybody's gonna think I'm a certain way because I have these shoes on. A lot of these people, especially foreigners, who don't, for somehow, and what's
you can say the Chinese.
Maybe
it's the Chinese.
Maybe I'm tweaking, but outside of America, niggas can't really dress, and they dress like mannequins, and it's like, it's not them in the outfit, it's the outfit on them.
Yeah, how many times have you seen a video of just a guy in off-white shirt, off-white pants, off-white shoe, like
the bag?
The bag. Like, he's seen the whole ensemble so many times.
Fucking Toyota fucking Caravan, like, this shit is crazy. It's insane. You drive a Dodge Caravan and you're like, you're tweaking like what you're dressing like. First of all, you're dressing like 30 years younger than yourself somehow. Also, it's just, I don't know. It's like, but I did have this one Chinese girl sit in my chair, and she was like, "Yo, honestly, it's a status thing. Like a lot of these like Koreans and Chinese people like wear
absolutely
because it's like, so like, remember how like smoking cigarettes was like, it's considered a certain, because
you could afford
you getting a bag. You smoke cigarettes? Oh, you getting a bag like that.
Right.
So that transferred over into like fashion.
So
Mhm.
I mean, I get it, but it's still hilarious. So you get like these dudes and like just dressing like literally like a mannequin. You'll have like Balenciagas with like some Tom Brown pants. But it's like really tacky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But it's pretty hilarious and pretty sad.
Lawrence, you were
Now,
about to
just
go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I was I was intrigued because like you said, you work at a Nike store, and obviously a lot of the times a height release comes out, it's through the app. You reserve your pair. But I was just reading an article in Georgia about in Greenbrier Mall where they've eased the restrictions and out there, and people were lined up yesterday for the Fire Red Fives, and it just makes me think like people are willing to risk their lives for sneaker, and this is nothing new.
Mhm.
I mean, but it's really disgusting to me. Like when I see people like you have these COVID cases going on in this world, and people are still just lining up at Jimmy Jazz's and malls, and
Sad, man.
you know, and it just makes you realize like what are we like? What are people trying to get like to be like the freshest? Like, are you willing to die for it?
Yeah. It's not worth it.
It's I don't really get it. It has to be some sort of acceptance thing because like I can't speak for all four of us, but I'm pretty sure I could speak for Luke and Lawrence, where it's just like we just buy what we like because we're fashionable people with taste. And these people that don't have it, I think like
Yeah.
that need for acceptance is just driving them. Because a lot of these dudes, like going back to even the point we were just
Real.
making about like they didn't watch Mike, but they have the Mike shoes. It's like they just need to be feeling a part of something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like the same thing when Apple first started really getting crazy with that stuff. Like back to the status thing. I think it's all coming from the same place. Where
Mhm.
I guess these kids would rather have fucking coronavirus than not flex in their Fire Fives.
I mean, yeah, this is a thing, man, where people obviously they're not taking the social distancing thing serious, especially, your people
Yeah.
willing to wait for some Jordans. Like, god damn, man, I think this is what we're seeing though. This is like the people they're getting their money, they're getting their stimulus, they're getting
Yeah,
their
man.
$600 from CARES, like they're now it's like we're gonna fucking spend this money, and that's why a lot of these states are reopening because they're like, we got to get this money, this $1,200
Yeah.
somehow, some way. We talked about The Last Dance. We talked about stimulus. We talked about the dunks.
Mhm.
Nike teased 3 new dunks that are coming out in the next month or so.
The
Right.
lows.
You got lows. You guys feeling them?
Yeah, I like them a lot. I would
Like certain colorways. I mean, I guess you can say technically if you like one, you like them all. It just depends on the color.
mhm.
Colors are sick though.
Hold on, let me pull it up.
I just need the highs, man. I can't do lows. I look so weird in lows. Nike's does not respect my feet enough for me.
Lows are tricky.
Mhm.
Yeah, they are, man. And it's like, you know what it is, man, too? It's like I have a sample size. I have a size 9. So, like, with my 5'10" height, I look wild when I wear, like, shoes that are, like, appropriate to my I need my feet to look like they got stung by a bunch of bees. You know what I mean? Like, my shoes need to be bulky.
I wear a size 12. I'm still gonna be looking like long Jeffies on my fucking.
Oh, yeah, dude. You a clown out here running around.
I'm a 12 as well, so I mean,
You gotta wear cargo pants all day with them forever. 'Cause
Yeah.
only pair of pants that looks good with them.
These
Gotta
are
wear
made for
baggy
my
shit.
people.
Also, thank God that baggy shit came back into style, bro. I needed that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I needed
I've been getting shit on for the past 15 years, and finally I'm ahead of the forefront.
right. You feel me?
Hilarious.
Funny enough, like as a skater, like I missed the early 2000s, so like I didn't get to be a part of that baggy culture. And then like that shit made a comeback. And then no funny shit, the sales company that I work with, we represent DC skateboarding. So like I get shoes and shit. So like I'm back on my like, you know what I'm saying, baggy jeans, baggy sweats. I'm out here skating. That shit was beautiful. But now Corona, and now I'm kind of like fuck. So I'm home with it, playing Skate 3. Sidebar, did y'all hear about they said that, like I read that this is between like March 27th and April or April 27th to May 7th. Like these are like the biggest
this is like the highest incubation time for like COVID at the moment or some shit like that. And like
It's like hitting its peak.
like yeah, it's like wisest to stay in type shit and not really be around people.
Yeah, man.
I read it on like something off Twitter of somebody's saying that their parents like got a message from like UC Davis. They work for like UC Davis and shit like that, and they were talking about how like those points were like between those two time periods is like precious.
Stay inside.
Yeah.
I mean, there's rumors of this second wave that are supposed to come, like when we go back out. I mean, I don't really know who to listen to or what. I'm just going to keep my mask on and keep it moving. That's it. As long as we ever stay 6 away with a mask on, I feel like everyone's going to be all right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you didn't talk about your mask yet.
How?
Oh,
Fuck, right. Get it.
oh yeah. So, I mean, some of the listeners know, but I consult for this company called So Hoodie, and it's a portable hood, basically. You can put it on anything. This is not attached to my fucking shit at all. But I added a gator to it. So now it's good for like biking or if you're a runner or some shit. I look like I'm about to rob a bank. Every time I go into a bodega and they don't know me, they act a little weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, this was my shit. I've been making a bunch of masks for a bunch of people. I can't wait for the other shit to come out and show you guys. But yeah, this was one of them. I was riding around on a city bike in Fort Greene by where Juice lives. Fucking, it's New Orleans out there. Everyone's just drinking on the street. It's fun.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh no, we're fine. We're not dying. I'm just like,
It's fine.
I'm telling you, T-virus, bro. Just be ready for the T-virus. Get
Yeah.
your weapons up and let's just be ready, son. Like,
Yeah.
get your green herbs and red herbs, put them together. Let's get some fun. Because this shit is like, no one gets it. And then
Yeah.
Washington Square Park, Huntington Beach was bussing.
Yeah.
It's mad places bussing. I'm just like, you guys are dickheads. But it's
Yeah.
cool. I've been saying this to a lot of people. I've been like, yo, I wonder what the world's gonna look like when it starts getting hot out. But when I say the world, obviously I mean New York, because like
Yeah.
we're a different kind of world. And
Yeah.
when it gets hot out, when it starts really becoming summer,
Yeah.
people just gonna start turning into zombies, bro. I'm gonna start shooting people. That's it.
My roommates were talking about getting guns and shit too. Everybody needs to calm down, stay 6 feet away, keep your mask on, and don't go out if you don't have to. That's it. Let's just
That's
get
it.
through this shit, you know?
Do we got time for any more topics?
Yeah, I think we could do a couple more. I didn't even pay attention to when I restarted this shit. So,
We've
Well,
been.
We started at like 7:30.
oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got- Yeah, we got like
Yeah.
1 or 2 more.
I'm here.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we talked about, well, you know, obviously with episodes 5 and 6 of The Last Dance tonight, Kobe Bryant's gonna be featured in one of those.
Yeah.
And there's news that Nike's gonna be releasing one of his Pro Show version of the Kobe 6s.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan. I like the 6, 7, 8s, even though they all look very similar in terms of playing basketball. I love the 6s. I love the 8s. You know, obviously, I don't know if there's a right way for Nike to release these without, you know, resellers trying to get their hands on. Either they have to flood the market, or what's the option that you guys think Nike can do?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, flooding the market's a smart one, so that way no one can really profit off this dude's death.
I think exactly what they did with the 5s. You know, have 2 different release dates for it.
Well, not
You know?
two
Yeah.
release date, like a shock drop. You saying like a shock
Yeah,
drop?
like
and
do a
release
shock
date?
drop and then a release date. But
I
like,
just like restock
November?
opportunities. You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah.
make it available easy. I mean, I don't know how many pairs they are making for these, but yeah, just make it so it's not like make it so I don't gotta like choose a Kobe shoe over like the Off-White 5 for my stimulus check spend. You know what I mean?
that's also true.
Yo, if any of the Poison Dart Frogs come out, I'll cop. But other than that, I'm not really like busting my ass for a pair of Kobe's. I never tripped about Kobe's before. I'm not gonna trip now.
Yeah,
Stand
that's
true
kind
to the
of that's the right way to do it. Like I loved the Kobe shoes, but they weren't from my aesthetic, and I never bought any. I mean, like
Mhm.
Adidas Kobe's. Hopefully they don't try to do shit with that, because that should be left alone. But like if
That's a
Toasters
whole
came
other-
back out, I mean I'd be all over Toasters. But like yeah, everyone just gotta kind of chill, and it's so weird. I don't like for an extra $1, they'll just step over this dude's grave. It's wild.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's gross.
We're really this COVID shit's really making us like really showing the people like what our government like can and cannot handle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, like, this whole thing, our government's not set up to be stopped like this. So it's like everybody's like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Gotta buy something.
And Kobe, I guess it's been confirmed by a couple people, but he was doing his own doc before he unfortunately passed. He's gonna have his own Last Dance coming up, so that's gonna be cool to see too.
That'd be
shit-
fun.
That's just not weird to say. Like, damn, Kobe's dead.
Yeah, it blows my mind still.
What the fuck? What do you, yo? If anybody came from the past to our present and said, yo, what the fuck is going on? Yo, Kobe's dead. They'd be like, holy shit! I just
Yeah,
figured
I
out 2001. No.
Yeah.
Like that shit is crazy.
What happened? He like jumped too hard? Nah, it was just something. It was an accident. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That shit.
One of the most shocking deaths, I think, celebrities.
No one saw that coming.
No one.
I was a left hook to my fucking balls, yo. No
Mhm.
God.
Yeah, man.
M&M 4s are in the.
Nobody cares about those.
Hey,
Well,
my
I
people
brought up
care
because-
about the Force.
I was gonna say because
Anything Eminem, my people care about. Okay, he's one of our Jesuses out here. Okay, we only had a couple of versions of him. I threw a ticket at those. I went on StockX the second I saw Eminem 4s were on there. I was like, I will throw $10 for a ticket at that.
You know,
I was
people
gonna
were copying
talk
the
about that, yeah.
Winter 4s because they look like the M&Ms.
He was saying it when it first came out that they look like the M&M 4s.
That's exactly what I said.
That is exactly what he said.
The Winter 4s were stupid because it was like a line, like a fleece line collar and shit. Like, it's like, that's some hot sneakers. You're going to only wear those when it's cold. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to Russia. Don't sell them to niggas out here. That's a 3-month shoe. Nah, you can't have that.
Well, it's interesting that StockX is doing this now because they have a lot. There's a lot of things going on with them that they've been in the news for employees testing positive for COVID, processing fees increasing.
Yeah, they're in danger right now.
I feel like just the fact that they provide such a basic service for people. I think they're never going to go out, but I think there will be some changes probably to upper management eventually. It's too easy for like you to purchase something off the StockX. It's like without you can literally just say, all right, I want to buy this, or I want to put in a bid, and it's like, all right. And I don't think that anyone will ever. I don't think it's going to go out of business.
No, they won't. I mean, yeah, like you said, things will change. Maybe the business will change as far as like what kinds of shoes can go on there. Like if it's only the hype shit, like because you go on there now, there's some shoes you can get for like under half the original retail, and they're not bad shoes. And that they're wasting money on those types of orders. Like that, the manpower to move like some general release shit, like just some regular Air Max shit for $60. It's like not worth the salaries or however they do it. So they'll probably change the model to more just hype shit.
No, why would they do that? I mean, that if there's a processing fee, if they can make money off of a fucking fee, they're gonna do that. You understand what I'm saying? That's part of the reason.
Yeah,
why
but
I feel like
no, I understand what you're saying, but those shoes are moving like they were before. Like even at this low of a price, like I don't see a lot of that stuff moving.
Well, which is interesting because I feel like Flight Club had a similar model in terms of not taking certain shoes, but then also they dealt with a physical inventory.
Yeah.
Like where their stuff was in a fucking basement. Like whereas StockX is like the person holds the fucking shoes.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like if you have, it's also like bandwidth. It's also maybe stuff that we don't understand, but I just can't imagine because they do still have to like manage that inventory, whether it's physical or in a spreadsheet. And someone has to be in charge of that. And if they're cutting costs, and even if it's just a couple people, it's like maybe they got to cut the kind of shoes that they do. Or the handle.
Well, I think I mean maybe not shoes, but then maybe they don't fucking have a Rolex section or fucking
that's another thing
section.
too. Maybe just keep it more like what. I've never heard of anyone buying a Rolex off StockX, so that kind of makes more sense than maybe cutting some of the shoes.
If you buy,
I bought some socks off StockX.
Yeah,
that's even more at least foot related. You know what I mean? Like you sell socks to people that are buying shoes in the store. You know what I mean? That's part of the hookup training. Like you try to get build the sale or whatever. You never go like, yo, get these Air Maxes in this Rolex.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're going to StockX for your Rolex, you better pray to the authenticity gods.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Did they like call in someone from Rolex to like do a double check? Because it's like I'm not letting Zach from fucking Massachusetts be like, oh no, this Rolex is real, dude, for sure. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's those dudes in Chinatown that like make you do the hit so you could hear the shit move in the middle of it, whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, dude, stop. Like, no, it's for sure good. Oh no, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. It's
Yeah,
good.
no, dude, your Rolex is so good, dude. The Rolex, dude, for sure.
No worries, bro. So
Cheers.
stupid.
Cheers, no worries, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what we could probably end off of is the NCAA letting kids get endorsements now.
Yes.
That's gnarly.
It's pretty crazy. So it's like, from what I understand from the article, it's it's an individual contract as opposed to the school contract,
Mhm.
right? Where it's like, like maybe like they use Duke as an example because Duke is like heavily sponsored by Nike, and then they go, okay, well, we could put this player in Adidas like lifestyle shit, and they can make money that way. But just because like separated from like the court and like this Instagram
I
social
was gonna
media
say, like, if you
lifestyle.
sponsor some kid, like if you like do individual like
Mm-hmm.
sponsorships like that, like how do you know this kid's gonna like be a good turnout? Like he's still a kid.
Look at
Like,
Zion, bro. If anybody put clothes on Zion,
I mean,
I
what
think
can you
people would've
really
bought
do? What, they're gonna put him in like big and tall shit? Like that nigga's huge. He can't wear like
he can't dress really.
I mean, what NBA player like it's but so many who can actually dress and not look hilarious. So
It's true.
I was just excited because not only like I mean for years people have been talking about college kids should get sponsorships, whatever, but the media coverage has gotten so intense that it's gotten to the point where high school kids are really being focused and not like in major cities like New York City. I mean, people are going to Middle America to scout high school kids.
Sure.
So high school kids, it's now moving to the point where like, I mean, Overtime is a great example. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the company Overtime. They're literally like a media company that covers high school kids going into college.
Oh.
So the fact that they're moving the bar to college kids now being able to get endorsements,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a step in the right direction anyway. I mean, anyone should be able to get any endorsement deal they want. I mean, you look at, the Olympics is a great example. Some of those guys are super young and they're getting McDonald's money and they didn't go to college.
Right.
So, I mean, personally, I was just happy to see that happen. The younger it goes – no, go, Lawrence.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. Finish.
No, I was just saying the younger it goes, like as far as media coverage, you can't wait till the kid's like 25 to get a contract somewhere on something other than what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I think what happens here is the NCAA started seeing that there was ways around eligibility, like you can go overseas, or the NBA is now creating a G League team that is comprised of blue chip high school kids who are, should be freshmen in college. So I think the NCAA realized that, man, fuck, like we're in trouble. Yeah. And for something that they stood firm on for so long, for them to bend the rules the moment one of the top prospects decides to go to play in the NBA G League, NCAA is the biggest pimps in the world. We've all, I think, expressed this at some point at another time. It also depends to me, though. And here's the thing I'm going to say. Some of these kids, are you going to get more notoriety and more clout? Not clout, but like you go to the G League and play on a G League team in the NBA or developmental league, or go to Duke where you're going to be fucking on ESPN every fucking week playing in a fucking system. If there's an NCAA tournament, you become. So I think, I that's a completely different like segue, but it's interesting, man. Like that.
No, it's a good point.
Yeah.
NCAA basketball is gonna get neutralized by the NBA.
Yeah, that's what really I think pushed their
man.
Yeah.
NBA's becoming the fucking galactic empire, nigga. It's just like this shit is insane.
It's one of them.
It's like Disney. Sure. It's like Disney running everything. Then NBA is just like, it's
Well, it's tough because it's like, would you rather these kids get paid? Like, because the NCAA does that now. They're the fucking empire for these kids for sure.
But nobody's paying these kids. These kids are just like getting good grades.
Exactly. They're super talented. They get a free ride. They can't even really go to classes.
Yeah, wait, they're not even getting good grades, bro. They're just there to help the clout of the school win some shit. Like, these kids don't even go to class at all because they're doing
good grades.
Yeah, they're receiving them.
I don't know if they're working for them, but they're receiving good grades.
Their grade out of 100 is based on how many points they got in the season, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
You put up 89, you get a B plus, bro.
I realized that when we get old, a lot of our like alumni basketball, like a lot of the team, a lot of the like the players are gonna grow up watching. So a lot of old dudes with tattoos. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
It's like
I can't wait to see J.R. Smith old.
right. I just thought about like what the NBA used to be. Remember when, like seeing a dude with tattoos like the weirdest thing? You're like, oh shit, Kenyon Martin.
Yeah.
Fucking like you'll see dudes with like tattoos and like it was like a you get like a certain bad boy perspective. Not everybody got tattoos. Not everybody's just like I don't know. Like it's just crazy how the NBA has changed. It just keeps changing, keeps evolving, and now it's like really starting to like pressure out colleges. It's like what the fuck you're starting to do for fucking what you could like. Since like the NBA's gonna have school like NBA college, and it's just gonna like that G League team. They'll get classes and then they'll like graduate and then
Careful, this might be a plot of an anime.
Oh shit, that'd be sick.
Hilarious.
One giant basketball school.
But I think actually right here is probably a good spot to stop. We got the doc starting in a half hour. I want to go like settle my shit and get ready.
Yeah.
Juice, thanks for coming, bro. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'd love to come back whenever it's possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Oh, you're always welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, Juice, on social media?
So on Instagram and on Twitter at Lemmegetter, LEMMEGETU 4 H's. I have like YouTube stuff too, but like I'm not really pushing that because I'm doing a lot of like reshaping, figuring a lot of stuff out. But all my main shit you can catch through my Instagram, and then
Well, you also manage a rapper as well.
So a lot of things have changed.
Okay.
So I still like do like I don't know how to call it. Like I still manage in a sense, like but heavy because I'm trying to focus on my acting career and it's like kind of music manager and acting career at the same time. They weren't coinciding, but I still see a lot of this shit and I still try and push work to him. But you can follow him at Dro the Whale. He's from Brooklyn. He's very down to earth. Very good dude.
He's great.
Yeah. And he's he has bars. Like it's not like it's not like regular New York shit. So he did a freestyle. Well, you guys can definitely check it out at Dro the Whale.
Let me get follow that first, everybody.
Word. Let me get a holla at your boy.
Holla at him.
Word. I appreciate you.
Any guys final words before we dip out of here, before I do like the final wrap up plug shit?
Juice, once again, thanks for coming, man. It's always fun hanging out with you, buddy. Let's see what else. We were talking about like stupid shit we buy with our stimulus money. I've been buying some shit from Tenant. Support your locals, people. That's a big thing. Support your locals.
Yeah, shout out Jesse and Chris. Those are our guys, former guests. We did the live pod there. Al, you got anything before we dip?
Nah, I'm ready for that episode 5 and 6, yo.
Yeah.
So at LZD325, at Trevises, at Not That Cheney, at Sub Podcast NYC, Sub Podcast NYC at Gmail. You can, if you go on the Instagram, you can text us. We got a Google Voice that you can leave us a message. Join the Discord, Juice. I'm gonna send you a link after this shit.
Yeah, join the Discord, dude. It's popping.
I'm here for it.
No, Discord's where it's at. And yeah, that's it. I got this hood. I got other hoods coming out and mask shit for you guys. I'll let you know as soon as I do them. And yeah, I guess that's it.
All right.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace, guys.
You.